Award-winning and chart-topping Melbourne-based country music troubadour Andrew Swift is gearing up for his fourth studio album release, which is scheduled for next year. And he recently dropped the first single from it, the amazing track entitled Hot Damn, It's Been a Minute, that you just heard a few seconds ago. Adorned in tattoos, sporting a bushy beard and a ball cap, he looks like someone who might be passionate about craft beer or 18-hour smoked brisket. Who wouldn't be? But don't let that rough exterior fool you, because he's not a barbecue pit master, although I'm told he can whip up some mean nachos. He is in fact a bona fide country songsmith of the highest standard and a genuine sweetheart. Back in 2021, Andrew was invited to host the Golden Guitar Awards alongside the legendary Catherine Britt, and at last year's awards he took out the title of Male Artist of the Year after two massive sold-out shows at the Tamworth Country Music Festival. Described by Country Update as an Australian songwriting heavyweight with a powerfully evocative voice to match, Andrew is undoubtedly a force to be reckoned with, despite his meteoric ascent to the highest echelons of Australian country music. He remains immensely passionate about helping those who follow in his footsteps. It's this same compassion that earned him the mantle of official ambassador for the dog on the tucker box at Gundagai. So there's clearly much more to this bloke than meets the eye. Andrew is truly both sides of the coin. He's a wayward vagabond and a sweetheart, a master performer, and one hell of a guy. And I can attest to that personally, because I met him back in February of this year when I ran into him at the Whittlesea Bowls Club during the Whittlesea Country Music Festival. And I'm absolutely delighted to have him standing by on the phone waiting to have another chat with me. So let's bring him on air without any further delay. Hello, Andrew. How's it going, mate?
Great, mate. Geez, that's some intro. Wow.
I'm famous for my intros, mate. You ask anyone.
That's impressive. I think the only thing you left out is that I'm your newest local resident as well. So I've just moved to the area.
Oh, really? What, like Mill Park?
No, Eltham North, so just down the road.
Oh, yeah, that is just down the road. It's not far at all, is it? Oh, that's great.
Closer than where I used to be from you, mate. So.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, that's, literally just up the road. Oh, yeah. Cool. All right. Well, had I known that, I would have invited you into the studio, but that's a bit of an issue because I can't guarantee parking at the moment. So, you might have to catch a bus or something.
Right. That's all right, mate. Look, I might have to sort you with some tickets to the show that I'm doing at Panton Hill Hall.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah, I'll be in that.
We'll talk about that later on.
Okay, no problem. All right. Now, look, first of all, welcome to the Country Club. It's great to have you on the show. I mean, last time recorded the interview we had the chat at the Country Music Festival up at Whittlesea there, and I recorded it and played it a couple of weeks later. But this time I'm actually speaking to you live on the phone, which is great. Good to have you on the show, mate. It really is, and welcome to the.
Thanks, mate. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. Now, let's talk about this new single of yours, Hot Damn, It's Been a Minute. It's great. It is absolutely terrific. So I'd like to talk to you about that. Did you write that yourself, or was it a co-write?
I wrote that one with Phil Barton, who's over in Nashville. We did it via Zoom, though. We've done a bunch of songs together, and more often than not, the songs we write together end up being singles. So I feel like we've found a good combination there.
Well, mate, if you're on a good thing, stick to it,
That's it.
Okay, so what was the inspiration behind the song? Tell me the story, paint me that picture.
I was on the phone to a friend one day I hadn't spoken to for a while, and I called him up, and the first thing I said was, mate, it's been a minute. And
As you would.
started chatting, and immediately I sat down and wrote that down. I'm like, I think that could be a song idea. And that's what I wrote it about, is just that, we... life gets in the way, you get busy, and next thing you know, it's been months and months since catching up with mates. And, I just thought, for me, I always things pick up right where they left off. I'm a very low-maintenance friend, so that's kind of what the song's all about.
All right, well, that makes sense, actually, when you listen to the song. yeah, that all falls into place. And that's a great. That's a great reason to write a song, I think. Anyway, because friendships are important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, and I mean, a lot of my friends, a lot of my songs come from, I like to write the nostalgic songs that come from, those memories made with friends, and
Yeah.
like the good old days that I put out as a single was all about that as well, and hanging out with those friends and on our annual weekend away.
Okay. Yeah. No, I dig that. That's. I know where you're coming from. That's And isn't that about country? I mean, if you pick a topic like that you feel very close to, and you write a song about it, and a great song. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's so country to my way of thinking. Anyway.
Absolutely. Well, I think that the good songs come when it's something that you feel strongly about, or that you've lived and can write about from experience. So yeah, I think that just they go hand in hand together.
I couldn't agree more. Now, this might seem like a bit of an obvious question to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway because people always want to know, and it's never taken for granted. But where can people buy your music?
Oh, mate, wherever you get your music from, and if they don't have it in there, they can order it, that's for sure. So,
Okay.
But otherwise, head to andrewswift.com.au, and if you end up buying a physical CD through the store, I'm happy to sign it for you.
Oh, good on you. That's great. Excellent. No worries. So, how long has this album been out?
Well, the last album, so this single we just played, that's not on an album yet, but the album before came out in I think it was March or April last year. So
Okay.
so we've been out about 18 months or so, but
Right.
already moving on to the next one.
I was just going to ask, when's the next one coming out?
Yeah, I love it when at least it's been a reasonable amount of time when you're saying when's the next one out, because often you release an album and within a couple of months people go, when's the next one? And I was like, wow, hold on. We're still promoting this one. I'm still trying to get some money back for all that I've just spent on this latest one. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, again, I can hear where you're coming from.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. I've got a couple of ordinary questions, I guess. But how long have you been playing music?
Well, it's funny. I was just talking about this morning, but my first gig was back in 2001. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
23 years I've been chipping away at it, but it's only been the last 6 years, I think, or just over 6 years that I've been able to do this as my full-time job.
Okay. So, hot damn, it's been a minute.
Oh, yeah, mate, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a lot of years of chipping away at trying to get there, and many years of considering throwing it in because it wasn't working, and then everything just sort of clicked and fell into place.
No, look. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased to hear that. It does tend to be something that you need to be dedicated to, doesn't it? I mean, it's too easy to walk away from it, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. There was multiple times where I thought about throwing in the towel, and I put a lot of thought into what I would do if I wasn't doing music, and I just kept coming up with the same answer, that there was nothing else that I'd be as passionate about, so I just kept at it.
So like Lainey Wilson said at a concert, there's no plan B.
Well, that's it. That's exactly right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I guess that goes with being dedicated. It sort of makes sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're truly passionate about it and keep at it. I mean, and I think the key is finding a way to make it work. I wasn't always in the country genre. I was a bit ignorant as to what was involved and didn't think it was for me. Okay. And then once I realised I was wrong and fell in love with it, everything changed.
Well, yeah, sometimes that's just the way it happens, isn't it?
That's it. That's it.
The right dominoes need to fall into place, and away you go.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so that sort of leads me to another question. Why country music? I mean, you mentioned that that wasn't the original genre, but what made you turn to country?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved telling a story in songs, and I remember my sister pulling me up saying, not every song has to be a story. So that's just the way I write. And that's a big part of country music. I think I was just ignorant about country music for a long time. Right. Straight out of school, I was in a pop punk band with some friends, and I'd never listened to that music, and they got me into it, and then, started doing my own stuff. Eventually, I got dragged up to Tamworth by my local council of all people, and fell in love with it. We did a bit of a crash course in Australian country music. I was co-hosting a radio show with my local council, and we interviewed 70 artists over 5 days. And I just got a bit of it was like the old Whitman sampler of chocolates. I got a bit of everything.
Okay.
And fell in love with it and realised there was a place for me and that I wanted to be a part of it.
Well, I'm glad you found that slot, mate. I really am, because, I don't think Australian country music would be the same without you, to be honest.
Oh, thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good stuff. And the bonus is you're a Melbourne-based artist, so I was thinking.
Yeah, born and bred, mate.
All right, so what actually drew you to the music industry originally? I mean, what made you wake up one day when you were like 5 years old and think, I'm going to be a rock star?
Mate, I wish I knew what that at 5 years old. It wasn't until much later, but
okay.
I started playing drums first as my first instrument in high school. Yeah, that was my first taste of music, and then I picked up a guitar on a school camp, and I was like, "This is pretty good." And what really did it for me though is year 11 and 12. I ended up going through depression, and like playing the guitar was something that was a huge help for me. It gave me goals to set myself, things to work towards, and most importantly, gave me an outlet to express my feelings and what I was going through. Even if nobody heard the songs, it was a way to get it out. So that's how it all started for me.
There's no better vehicle than music to be able to do that, I think.
100%.
Yeah. I was going to ask you another question, but it's gone anyway. It doesn't matter. It's just my brain getting old.
That's all right, mate.
But I've got a few more. So, now, who do you regard as your main influences?
That's really tricky because my influences change often.
Okay.
Since finding country music, Chris Stapleton has been a pretty solid one for me. But if we're going further back, I think probably the biggest influence for me was Van Morrison.
Really?
I was big Van Morrison fan. I used to find whatever CD of his I could that I didn't have. And, I loved it. And I loved how diverse he was with his music, Had some of the, when we say R&B, the old 60s R&B influences on there. He had some country stuff, blues stuff. Yeah. You could get a good variety out of him, and I really appreciated the diversity of him.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of his songs got a real country flavour to them. And he did that classic song, Three Chords and a Truth, which, you don't get any more country, do you?
No, well, that's it. So he's a fantastic artist.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys, I'm not sure I'd like to meet him, but I've heard stories he's not the most pleasant fellow.
Okay.
I can still appreciate him as a musician. And
that's it.
What he's done.
Yeah, like my missus won't watch a movie if she doesn't like the main actor, you know what I mean? And that doesn't make sense to me. I don't care what they like, I just want to enjoy the movie, That's it.
That's it.
I don't care if they're a bad person as long as they can act, and that's fine, I don't have to like them.
Yeah, well, that's it. As long as they do a good job.
That's it.
Look, unless they've done something real bad, then I won't support it. But if they're just a grumpy old man, I can handle that.
Yeah, that's it. Like I wouldn't listen to anything that Trump recorded, for instance. Now, getting back to Morrison, Van Morrison, on just a short aside. I remember listening to Gloria, when it first hit the charts back in the 60s. And, I found out a little bit about the band, and I've been a Van Morrison fan ever since then. So, that's how deep my fandom goes with him. And he's come such a long way since then,
It's cutting in and out real bad, mate. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm going to try something. I might lose you, but if that's the case, I'll just put a track on and I'll ring you back, all right?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, you still with us?
Yep.
Okay.
It's like a wave. I've tried moving to a better part of the house, but it hasn't changed anything. I'm not sure if it's me or you, but
I think it's me.
I'm sort of piecing it together with the questions.
Okay. Look, I don't think the problem's at your end. I really don't.
Okay.
We've been having problems with our phone line for, a few weeks now. So someone came in and rebooted the system, and it hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Yeah. So anyway, Van Morrison has always been a big influence on me, and it's been interesting watching his career evolve from when he was with them, back in the 60s.
With them, yes. Yeah.
And amazing artist, really. But I look forward to following your career, much in the same vein as that one. So yeah, I can see that happening.
Thanks, mate. I'd love to hit that legend status when I'm his age.
Oh, you are. Yeah, absolutely. You're a legend in my book.
Thanks, mate.
Now, well, how are we going for time? Oh, we're nearly out of time. Gee, glad I looked at the clock. I could be in trouble here. Look, just a quick one. What's next for you? What do you got coming up? We've got an album coming out.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on. Go with it.
Yeah, with what I got coming up. So we've got a run of New South Wales shows this week.
Okay.
Up to Orange, Dungog, and then a festival out at Penrith.
Okay.
And then straight into the studio to do some more on this album, and then a couple of local shows in October. So down near Cooey-Rupp, and then I'm doing my first local show at the Pantanil Hall on Sunday, 13th of October.
Wow.
So it's going to be a fun little show, all ages event. So it's going to be good.
So we're playing in Cooey-Rupp at the pub?
No, doing Caldermead Farm, just on the highway.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was in a country band a long time ago. We did a lot of regular work at Cooey-Rupp at the hotel.
Yeah, right.
That was great, yeah. A lot of fond memories there. Nice little town,
It is, yeah. I sort of grew up, I spent a lot of time out that way I was in the outer southeast, Berwick, Pakenham area, so...
Okay, yep.
Yeah, been out that way quite a bit over the years.
Excellent, all right, yeah, nice stuff. All right, Andrew, look, we've got to sign off. I will text you once we're finished here. I'll send you a text with our mailing address here at the studio, so when your album comes out, mate, if you could send me a CD, signed or unsigned, doesn't matter, I'm going to play it on air.
Sounds good, mate.
All right, and, if you want to send us any tickets or whatever, there's the email address. Okay, so I'll look. Thank you for taking the time to have a talk with me on the phone today, Andrew. I really, really do appreciate it. It's always great to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
thank you for having me,
mate. I'm all about supporting good Aussie talent, and you tick the box. So, this won't be the last time we do this, I'm sure.
No, I'm sure it won't be.
That might not be welcome news for you, but it is for me.
No, it'll be great.
Okay, cool. Cheerio to Simone, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye.